ladies. I really wanted to take the time out to answer a few of your questions about finding foundation. I get like a crazy amount of people telling me that they want to find their foundation and they don't know how to do it. So I've compiled some notes, which I won't be able to get through in 20 minutes, but I'm going to try anyway. I mean, in 10 minutes, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so one of the biggest things, or maybe even the overall picture about finding a foundation, is understanding your undertone. This is something that I'm going to have to probably explain more on my blog so that I can show you listings of different undertones. There are warm undertones, there's cool undertones, some people are neutral, but understanding your undertone is probably the biggest part about understanding what color you really are. I always use this MAC example because it really is the one that I think answers, it really relates to a lot of people, especially brown skinned women. Um, Time after time after time, people send me emails and say, okay, my skin looks just like yours, blah, 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 blah. I'm an NW45. What should I wear, or will this work for me, or blah, 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 blah. And I'll look at the person's profile picture or whatever, and I'll see NC50, what I really am. And I want to say you're not. Like you don't have all those warm undertones. And a lot of times I think artists get confused and they think, oh, she's brown skinned, she look like whomever. Okay, NW45 she is. That's not true. It's really understanding if you have red in your skin or golden yellow in your skin. And that's something, it takes a while sometimes to understand it. And that's why I think I'm going to have to do some more detail on my blog. I started a category, I guess, on my blog called Quest for the Perfect Foundation, which is going to be a series of posts talking about finding the foundation that works for your skin tone. So, and this isn't just for black women, it's for Caucasian women and Middle Eastern women and Asian women and everything in between because, we come in, literally, it's cliche, but we come in all colors, for real. So it's tough trying to find that sometimes. So I'll go into more detail on my blog, and you can find it. You can just search by the category on the right hand side, Quest for the Perfect Foundation. Sometimes you're gonna have to use more than one color. Sometimes, we as brown skinned women, a lot of times I think we have it more than anybody else. Where kind of in here will be lighter and around the perimeter will be darker. Sometimes you just have to use two colors. Or you have to decide, do I want to be lighter all over or darker all over? Which I think it looks better if you are darker all over than lighter. I mean, not ridiculously darker. Or you're just going to have to use more than one foundation or concealer. And that just means blending to perfection so that you appear to be just beautifully beat. Like, it's not a ton of options. And once you see it done, it'll make a lot more sense. So maybe I'll show that in pictures as well. But some of us are just not all one color, and it is necessary to use more than one thing. So that's one thing. So sometimes you're going to have to decide how you want. The ultimate question in finding a foundation is, what do I want my skin to look like? That's it. Ask yourself that when you're looking for a foundation. Do you want your skin to look super natural? Do you want it to look beat? Do you want to look like you're wearing something, your face is stupid flawless? Or do you want it to look like I'm wearing nothing and my face just looks amazing? Or are you just simply trying to get rid of marks or imperfections on the skin? That's just something you need to think about. So you have to decide how you're going to achieve that. Also, or you can decide if you want to get a foundation to work for your skin type, which means you can keep this in mind. You can wear any foundation that you want to, no matter what the company says or how they produce it or whatnot. You can make any foundation work for you, depending on what you use in conjunction with it. So as I say, a lot of times I do a video on, HD, or I'll do a video on Studio Tech or Studio Stick or Studio Fix or Face and Body, and people say, well, I'm oily, can I use this? I'm dry, can I use this? You can use any foundation you want to. You just gotta make it work for you. So if you're oily and something is made for dry skin, let's say you're oily and you want to use MAC Moisture Blend, you're going to have to use this by making sure you, one, use a product that's going to keep oil away. That means use all matte. Use matte gel texture by MAC. Use blot powder by MAC. Use things that are going to keep the oil at bay. So yes, it's a creamier foundation. It's going to have those properties that are going to make your skin look more moisturized. That's true. That's going to kind of work against you, but you can beat it by changing things around, if that makes sense. Or if you have dry skin and you want to use matte velvet by Makeup Forever, that means you're going to have to use a creamier moisturizer. Use that, then apply your foundation and let it breathe. Don't apply a powder on top to set it, or apply it on certain areas, not all over the face. It won't make your skin any drier than what it already is. Hopefully that helps with that. So there are a ton of brands that make foundations. Like, every brand makes it, from Wet n Wild all the way to, Chanel and everything in between. Every brand basically makes a foundation. It's up to you to decide how much you want to spend and how often you're going to use it. People are asking, is it worth spending $40 for a foundation? Foundation is an investment to me. That's the one thing that I believe I don't want to skimp out on. I don't want to skimp and pay, $4 or $5 or $9 for a foundation that's going to give me okay quality when I can dish out the extra money sometimes. I know it's hard. Not everybody can do it, and that's completely fine. Do what you got to do. But it's cool to be able to buy something and know that the quality is exceptional, that it's going to last you a long time, and that there are ingredients on your face that weren't, quote unquote cheap. You know what I mean? It's all up to you. Trust me. I used to use Maybelline stick foundation all through high school, partially through college. I used it, and then I found the higher end brands, and then I started to really, really, really leave the drugstore brands alone more because I saw a difference in quality. It's all up to you. So another thing, I'm running straight out of time. Using your hand. When you go into a place and you decide to use your hand to apply foundation to see if it matches, your hand and your skin, your face, 9 times out of 10 are not the same color. I'm going to tell you that right now. So many people do that. I see it at the counter where they take a foundation and put it on their hand. You're going to be screwed at the end half the time, because your hand is probably going to either be, can either be lighter or darker than your face. So you have to try it on your face. If that means getting a sample cup, asking for a sample, putting it on, I don't care what you have to do. The golden rule to making sure a foundation matches your skin is putting it on your face. I'm telling you right now. That means you take a color. I don't do that whole 3-stripe thing, that old school trick. I'll take one color and put it on one side, maybe another color, put it on another side, maybe somewhere up here or over here. Go outside into natural light, not indoors, nothing like that. You need to be outside. Let the sun beam down on you, look in a mirror and see what looks like you. That is how you find out your foundation. It's like the only true method to know that that anywhere you go, your foundation is going to look like you. Keep that in mind. You have to just be mindful of these things. And a lot of people say no brand has my foundation color. There are brands out there that are for us and for everyone that will have your color. So Makeup Forever is one. Sometimes people say MAC doesn't have it. MAC might have it. You got to kind of play around and see. Becca. I can't stress enough how many colors Becca has as far as foundations go. BeccaCosmetics.com. Check them out. If you can't find your foundation anywhere else, check there. They have a ton of colors. A ton of colors. Check out their brand. I'll be doing some videos on them a little later. But that is pretty much the overview of how to find your foundation shade. Again, check out my blog, ScandalousBeautyOnline.com, and I'll have more insight. And the new category will be called Quest for the Perfect Foundation. So I hope that helped even just a little bit. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them. See you soon. Bye.